Welcome to your daily focus, July the 29th, 2022. So, first day after a new moon, there's a lot to talk about the energy there. Let's start at the beginning and introduce myself to you. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Now we have the 29 energy today, and the 29 energy, when we add that together, it becomes an 11 energy. So the day before the new moon, we had a 22 energy. The day after the new moon, we have an 11 energy. So know that there are powerful energies around this new moon to move us forward. So I talked in depth, or I think in depth, about the new moon yesterday, so go back and revisit that one if you must. I usually put it up on my YouTube page as the introductory video, and I do that because throughout the next several weeks we could get lost in a whole bunch of different energies in our life, and we fail to remember that moon energy, that new moon energy, is the basis of it all. So sometimes we need to recap. Sometimes we need to go back and revisit it and see where we've gone, see where we should be going. Is it in alignment? So the 22 energy, then we had the new moon, now we have the 11 energy. Now, when the 11 energy comes to us as a 29 energy, okay, it's more of a learning period for ourselves. It's time for us to tune into our true inner powers and maybe bringing them out into the light and seeing if they have practical use on our path going forward. Now that could mean that you look at a talent or a gift or a passion of yours, something that allows your inner expression to come out, something to allow your creativity to come out. And you're kind of like, I always say my dad taught me to be a rough carpenter. It won't look nice by the time I'm done, but it will be totally useful for what I intend it to be. So it just may not win any beauty contest, but practicality is at its core. So let's say I was going to, I want to make fine cabinets, which I don't, but if I want to make fine cabinets, I know I've got the basics. And I know I do have a passion for building things, and you should see my, anyways, we won't go there, but I do have a whole toolkit. In saying that, I have a toolkit, but I have very little knowledge of how to make it come together so beautifully. So I may, under a 29 energy, say, you know what? It's time for me to learn a little bit more about this craft. It's time for me to maybe take a course or watch some online videos or talk to somebody who builds cabinets for a living and get a little bit more information in so I can strengthen my talents, my abilities, my creativity, my self-expression, and really bring it out into the light and make it all it can be in this world. So the 11 is a master number, and with the 11 energy, it does ask us for, I think what it does really is it gives us a bit more of a bigger challenge, or there may be more challenges on our path, but know that they're only there for us to learn and grow from so that we can be the best possible version of us we can. The rewards are past anything that you might have thought as where you want to be in 2 months, in 6 months, in 5 years from now. But we do have to show up and do the work. Now, if we look at the daily energy, it is a 24 energy, and the 24 energy is all about, well, you know what? It has a very strong love vibration. The 24 energy is more of a harvesting kind of energy, seeing that what you've done to this point, and then seeing how you're going to take it forward. So it can be utilized very well with the 29 energy, can't it? Because I can look at my carpentry skills and I can say, not a bad job, but I know I could fine tune that. And falling in love with my passion, my want to create something magnificent and beautiful. And who knows? Not only am I building cabinets, but I've got a franchise of them down the road just because I caught on quickly, or I picked up a unique style in my mind and my thoughts, whatever it might be. So, really, the only limitations under this kind of energy for what you want to step into is your own limitations, where you say, no, I can't do that. But question yourself on why you can't, please. Because you may find out through thought, through thinking about why you can't, the reasons behind that thought, the reason behind that reaction to going forward, to creating bigger, better, more beautiful. So it's a bit of a harvest time looking back on what we can do and how we are going to take it forward. It's also a beautiful love energy, so relationships, we're working on relationships and growing them beautiful as well under this kind of energy. Sun is in Leo, Moon is in Leo as well. So we get this second day of Leo energy, full Leo energy, which is phenomenal. Okay, because we become very proud and loving. There's so many beautiful qualities in the Leo energy. Now we can get a little fixed and stubborn in our ways, so watch out about that. I think too the moon is, I think it's aligning with Mercury, but it's squaring Mars and Uranus, and we could feel a little on edge today, or a little out of sorts today, because that's happening. Because the moon moves kind of quick through the sky, right? It only lasts about 2.5 days in each sign, so it's moving fairly quick. And so it's just like a little bump in the road. So if you're feeling on edge, then channel that energy into a project, into something that you want to do, into study, into growing your gifts, growing your talents, of taking that first step on your path forward. I think also with the moon, especially with Mercury, I think we'll be, very quick to think. It won't take us long to make decisions, think things through. And that brings with it an impatience if anybody is standing in your way from like slowing you down in some way. You're already there and you're waiting for them to catch up, and there will be an impatience. So don't lose it on them, okay? I'm sure it's not their intention to hold you up, but we will perceive it like that if we're not paying attention. So it's not about you. It's not a personal attack on you. It's just who they are at the present time. So a situation, people, we can become irritable. We can become impatient with them. And what do we do when we're impatient and we're irritable? We snap. We get snippy. So don't get snippy today. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for us. Shadow card. Shadow card is, look at this, Temperance again. I tell you, that 14 energy, and that was the daily energy for the new moon. So this energy is on fire. Temperance is here. Temperance is here to tell you that you can have more by having less. Temperance is here to say, take on the challenges and forge yourself into the person you want to be. Temper yourself into the person you want to be, or the reality that you want to step into. And what gives you that sense of balance? What gives you that feeling of security, of safety perhaps? What mixture is it to create love and laughter in your life? And do you have enough right now in your life, or do you need to create some? And we know that we have to build the stage for whatever we want to show up, which means we have to let go of certain things as well, in order to make the room, in order to build the stage for the new experience. We have the King of Swords. Oh, we're going to be snippy today. King of Swords is a little impatient, I'll tell you that much. He wants to get going, he wants to do it, and he wants to do it now. And there's this strength about the King of Swords, because it's all about our confidence. It's all about knowing that we can do what we're setting out to do. and realizing that within ourselves. Well, we're being given a look there, right? So we're going forward. We're going exactly in that direction. You get in my way, I'm using the sword. So this is the kind of energy where we can ruffle feathers, we can burn bridges. Okay? Very much that energy that I was just talking about with Uranus and Mars and the moon squaring it, is we can all feel a little bit more irritable and impatient. And so what we don't want to do today is say, get out of the way, I'll do it. Because that will sit with that person. You know, like you're trying to get rid of some scars, you're making scars for somebody else, because they might just take that to heart. You might be the 15th person who said that to them in the last week. What are they going to think of themselves? And you don't want to be that person anyways, do you? Really? So go do something else. Go get busy doing something else, and before you know it, they're going to say that they've caught up and they're done. But this energy is who we are today, so we may not catch it in time. I'll be honest. So be ready to mend those bridges. Be ready to say, I'm sorry. Be ready to humble yourself a little bit in their shadow the next time you're around. We have the Magician right in the middle. What do you want? What do you want? I'm doing a whole series of manifestation on Patreon, so I hope you come over there and join me. You can join for as little as $1 a month, and I don't think you get the YouTube ads when you watch it through Patreon or something. So already you're ahead of the game because you won't be interrupted anymore. And I'm just there to help you and teach you what I've learned, okay? And I know it works because it's worked. And not just once, not just twice, but more. We could sit here and talk all day on it. So what do you want? What do you truly want? And are you willing to work for it? Does it take over your mind? Is it a passion that just you can't stop thinking about it and creating it in your mind and thinking about the tomorrows and how it's all coming together and what you accomplished today? And this is the kind of energy that you want to start building up around you when it comes to manifesting the things you want. The Magician is here to say, what do you want? It's yours. It's yours. I've put in the order. It's on its way. Now, you got to get busy and go towards it. Okay? Other than that, you know, saying it out loud is wonderful, but it's a belief in saying it out loud and knowing that it will be waiting for you as you walk towards it. Otherwise, it's just guidance. Yeah, we've got your back and it's up there, but as long as you sit on the couch and do nothing towards it, we're not going to do any work either. Because you know how sometimes we help with the Six of Pentacles actually popped into my head here when I started talking. So I'm going to talk about the Six of Pentacles, even though we don't have that card up here, but it popped into my head, and you know how I am. If it pops in my head, somebody needs to hear this. You know, the give and take in relationships. Okay, so you have somebody that always has their hand out, always has their hand out, always has their hand out. When you need them, nowhere to be found. So if we're only saying, hey, I want this, and then you go about your day in a very nasty way, it's like Dr. Seuss, then what happens? What happens to that request? But if you say, I want this in my life, and then you start doing steps towards that, and you become of service to somebody else, maybe you're holding a door open or buying the person behind you their cup of coffee through the drive-thru or whatever, you know, sitting down in a senior's home and just reading a book out loud or the newspaper out loud to an elderly person whose eyes fail them, but they used to love reading the paper. I mean, there's so many ways. It doesn't have to cost you money, per se. It cannot cost you time. It can cost you energy. Of course, everything is a cost, and we never do anything for free ourselves, right? And be of service to somebody else. Go out there and show people to believe in themselves, to know that they are somebody of worth, somebody to be seen. And we can do that throughout our days in the smallest of ways. I was sitting in front of a liquor store. It was in a strip mall, so the liquor store was there. And I saw this couple sitting there. And they looked really upset. They had a suitcase with them. and they looked really upset. And I kind of got this feeling from them that maybe they just found themselves homeless and they didn't know what to do. And so I sent them some energy healing. I know you're supposed to ask permission, but my goodness, I'm going to walk over there and say, hey, I see you're kind of down on your luck. Can I heal you? You know, come on. I just sent them some positive healing. And I said, I don't care how it comes. I won't judge it, but let the healing begin. So I'm doing this, and then this guy comes and he parks almost right in my path. And I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy. You know, but then for some reason, he just backed up enough that he wasn't in my line of sight anymore, that I could send this energy healing to these people. So I was pretty well done, and this man got out of his car in the meantime, walked into the liquor store and came out, and I saw him hand them both a beer. And at first I said, what? This is healing? And then I thought, you know what? If they do have a problem with alcohol and they don't have any alcohol, they will tear each other to shreds through the withdrawal. So maybe one beer each will be enough that they calm down and they forget about how are they going to afford that beer, how they're going to afford to live, and have a serious talk that they probably should have had months ago. So then I think, so sometimes, when we look at how we're going to have that answered, I'm doing a healing energy on them. I wasn't expecting a guy to come out and hand them two beers. But when I thought about it, it was probably the best thing for them. Because I've known many people who, they start to shake and they can't even have a conversation with you because they just need that beer. They need that alcohol. I don't know if it's beer or vodka or whatever it might be for a person that you might know. And if it's you, then I'll pray for you. Just let me, I send out the healing anyway. You don't have to let me know anything. So by the time the man got back in his car, I had already ran this all through my head. And as he was just ready to pull out, I said, that was a really sweet thing for you to do. And he smiled and thanked me, and so he went on his way. So I sent out healing energy. I was kind of surprised how the energy formed, but I'm not in charge of how it happens. And then I made sure that this man knew that what he did was a wonderful gesture, because he could get on the road and say, what am I doing? Those people could have probably used a sandwich each, and I go and buy him a beer each. What kind of person does that make me? It made him a very beautiful person that did exactly what he had to do, because he was told to do that. I was told to do this. He was told to do that. Now they'll be told to do things, and hopefully they'll listen. Anyways, I got really off on a tangent there. But we're just going to go on. Look at this, the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, if you don't love you, if you don't think that you are deserving, nothing is going to happen in the form of miracles, wishes coming true, dreams realized, reality changes. You have to love you. You have to know that you are deserving. You have to believe in yourself and know that God, your angels, your spirit guides, past loved ones, they all have your back. They all want you to succeed. And when you cry, they sob. But start looking within. I mean, we do have with the 24 energy to look within, right? The 29 energy is about tuning into our true inner powers. The 24 energy is more of seeing our powers and then falling in love with us for those powers. And then bringing those things out into the light and utilizing them and say, hey, maybe this could get me a career. One lady, I heard this story, she could quilt. I don't know why I'm into stories today. You'll just have to, fast forward till you see me holding up a new card. So she loved to quilt, and her husband died. He didn't leave really any money, and she didn't know what to do because she was a senior, and she had never worked for a living. And so the church she belonged to said, hey, you make those beautiful quilts. How about teaching us how to quilt? And we can maybe make a quilt. That'd be a fun project, and everybody put in some money, and that would gain you some money for teaching the course. And so she started doing that, and she found she had a real knack for teaching people. And what she was doing when she was teaching people is what she never realized she did herself was taking that part of her and bringing it out into the quilt work. So she was starting to teach people how to take a part of them and put it into the quilt work. Over time, it manifested into a family tree or their own life story throughout this quilt, and how to weave in certain things and patch in certain things in order to. So anyways, it turned into an amazingly profitable business where she coaches people now and teaches people not how to quilt, but how to heal within the patchworks of certain life events while making this quilt. And it all starts with a belief, a small belief. They said I could do it, I'm going to try it. Wow, it went over okay. I'll try it again tomorrow. Wow, they really liked it. Maybe I'll do it this way. Oh, wow, they ate that up. And start taking some risk-taking steps on putting yourself out there, the real you, the true you. The one with all that potential that is unscratched at this point still. This is about believing in you. Knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are deserving, knowing that things are being planned on your behalf and you will walk into them as you go forward. Now we hold that cup in our hand. What are you going to fill it with? Because it can be anything. Once again, I will say the only limitations on today is the limitation that you put on your dream, your goals, your desires, your wants. And that has been really the theme as we move towards this new moon and through this new moon energy. Okay, let's get a mantra, shall we? I've babbled too much. But you know me, when I get things in my head, when I'm doing a reading, especially for the collective, I know your angels, your spirit guides. This is their opportunity to talk to you through me. And so when I hear a story or see a part of a story, I know I have to share because you're going to be listening and they want you to hear the message. Okay, our mantra card for the day is, oh my gosh, do you believe this? Opportunity knocks, go for it. Where have we seen that before? Oh my goodness, if the coyote comes out. Anyways, opportunity knocks, go for it. And anytime Uranus, now Uranus was big in the new moon, Uranus is big with the moon today. Whenever Uranus is around, the only thing you can be sure of is that nothing is for sure. Things will change on a dime. Events will change, circumstances will change, situations, perceptions, everything. You just do not know what's around the next corner. So it is vital that you are aware of what is going on around you, what is being shown to you, because that is going to trigger an emotion that brings up a period of life for you that all of a sudden it's like, I used to do that all the time. Why did I stop doing that? It's to reawaken you in some way, or to awaken you for the first time to something, because we are new moon energy. New opportunities are coming your way. Brilliant ideas, educational possibilities, new friends, expanding your potential, opening yourself up to greater possibilities. Be a good team player, and you will gain the respect of your work colleagues and peers. And you have good reason to feel proud of your achievements and attitudes towards yourself and others. Embrace any new endeavor that comes your way with a raw creative energy. Go for it. It's time to dazzle yourself. It's time to stretch your wings. It's time to fly. The mantra is, I am open to new possibilities to expand my potential. I am open to new possibilities. I'm open to new possibilities to expand my potential. I'm not going to put the glass ceiling in place. I'm going to say whatever you think I can handle, bring it on. Let's try and do it together. And that's a scary thing, right? To say, yeah, whatever you say, yeah, that's a hard one. Because what if, huh? Don't worry. You got it. It'll all work out. It'll all work out. My son was having a nervous breakdown the other day. It'll all work out. Now, this morning, I got to say, see, it all worked out. It'll all work out. Each and every time. They're always around you. They're protecting you. They're shielding you. And they're creating opportunities for you. So keep going forward. And build that belief in yourself. Raise that confidence. Who is it? The King of Swords. Raise that confidence within yourself so you can go forward with the surety of step. That you can fill that cup to the brim or overflowing if you want with anything that your heart desires. Okay, let's see what the animals have to say. And it's not the coyote. It's the swan though. And I remember the swan in our other deck because Cinderella used to do the quote, right? So here we have the swan, and it's all about grace. So, you who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. So it really is all about the spirit of beauty, our beauty, recognizing it, seeing it for what it truly is, bringing it out into the light, utilizing it, showing the world what you can do, who you can be, who you are becoming. You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me to transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. Know that you are beautiful. You've been beautiful since the moment of your conception. And I wish you know what, I'm going to look it up here. I'm going to say it because I think with the cards, it's very, very relevant. So deep breath, everybody. And a dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams, you will lose your heartaches. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you wish will come true. And doesn't that wrap up this entire daily focus? Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.